welcome to Advocacy in Motion. I'm your host, Tommy Finn, and if you've seen the program in the past, you know that we're here to give a vision and a voice to nonprofit organizations and individuals making an impact in the community. And before I introduce our first guest, I want to say thank you to our presenting sponsor, Niagara Conservation. If you don't know, Niagara is the leading manufacturer and distributor of water-saving plumbing products. Their new stealth-designed toilets save up to 60% of water, which means up to 60% of cost. And that's important for every household, but it's even more important to the affordable housing projects they support, including the new Oaks affordable housing from the Volunteers of America in the Oak Cliff section of Dallas. So we want to thank Niagara Conservation, and you can go to niagara.com to see all about their products and what they're doing with affordable housing. So my first guest today is an old friend. We've worked together for many, many years, and I want to introduce Kris Cumnock. Kris is the CEO of Wipe Out Kids Cancer. So welcome.
Thank you.
Glad to have you here.
It's good to see you again.
It is. I mentioned before that your wife Jill is the CEO of Ronald McDonald House, and she was on the program before, and she made the comment, she said, we're glad to see Kris come over to the bright side. So welcome to Nonprofit. I know you have a history going back. We've worked together for years, and you're one of the founders of the Tom Landry Classic and the Tom Landry Scholarship Program. Tell us a little bit about how that came about and what you were doing with the kids for that.
Yeah, so 24 years ago, growing up in Dallas, obviously huge Tom Landry fan, huge Cowboy fan, and working, where we worked, got to know the Landrys really well and got to do several things with Tom before he passed. And when he passed away, he was my hero growing up, and I wanted to do something to honor his name. And so over a weekend, I kind of sketched out an event, and it's 3 high school football games over 2 days. And I went to Tom Jr. and Alicia Landry, and I asked them if, can we do this? Can we call this the Tom Landry Classic? And we're going to do scholarships in coach's name, and I'd like to do it for 2 years and see if we can raise $2,500 in scholarships. And so they thought about it over, about a day and came back and said, we didn't do a lot of endorsements when Dad was alive, but we think this is something he would be proud of, and we're going to let you do it. And so the first year we did 3 games all in one day, and that was insane. That was not very smart. The second year happened 4 days after 9/11, but we did a Friday game and 2 Saturday games, and we raised well over $2,500. So I said, let me do it for 2 more years, and we went back to we cut it from 3 games to 2 games. But here in a couple months, it'll be year number 24, and we kind of overshot that 2,500. We're at 1.4 million in scholarships now. That
is terrific. I had the opportunity to attend many of the scholarship banquets, and you bring the young students up on stage, and I'm always just so amazed that these kids are so smart that I know it's not the scholarship is grant. It's they have to earn it through several criteria, and I'm just amazed at what they've done and how many scholarships you've given out. Tell us a little bit about how that scholarship works.
So the scholarship program, it's open to anyone who participates in the event of one of the 4 participating schools. So if you're a football player, cheerleader, band member, drill team member, mascot, if you write for the school newspaper but you cover the game, if you're a student trainer, student manager, any of those kids are eligible. And the 3 criteria we really look at is your leadership among your peers, your community service work, and your academic progress. So we're not looking necessarily for a kid who has straight A's, because not every kid is a straight A student. But if you're a B+ student, and that's your ceiling, well, we want you to be at that B+ level. So we really do a lot of background research on these kids and how they're performing, what they're like around their peers, how much they're doing in their communities. And so those are the three criteria. So you can be the star quarterback, and you're equal as likely to receive a scholarship as the third string punter. And so you don't have to be the band major. We really throw all of those things out the window, and we really focus on our three things. And we feel like they're really three core things that Tom Landry was all about. And you and I were fortunate enough to grow up with Coach Landry. These kids were not, but one of the things that they have to do is they have to write an essay on who Tom Landry was off the football field. So we really make them do some research into Tom Landry, the person, the philanthropist, the father, the husband, and find out about him. And by doing that, we're able to pass his legacy on to a generation that, like I said, did not get to grow up with him.
That's terrific. And your relationship with kids and students, you've evolved now into the CEO of Wipe Out Kids Cancer. Still that dedication to you there. Mm-hmm. Tell us about Wipe Out Kids Cancer, about the history and the focus of the mission.
Sure. It's a 43-year-old organization. And so Cindy Brinker Simmons founded the organization, and she's still she's on our executive committee today. And it's an organization. We have three areas that we focus on. We focus on research, novel research. So the way research works is if you're a scientist and you have something that a study that you want to do that can, in the pediatric cancer space, and it's like everything else. It takes money to do that, and you go to someone like the National Cancer Institute and you ask for money to start your research. Well, you don't have anything proven yet. You don't have any data, so they're not going to fund you. But our Science and Medical Research Committee, we do a lot of looking into people that are doing things in the pediatric cancer space, and we fund those things. So we funded over $8 million in research. And once that research gets started, well, now you've got some proving ground there. Now you can go back to the large funding groups and get funding. So the $8 million that we've funded has really turned into an additional $22 million. And our name is Wipe Out Kids Cancer. What we hope one day is, cancer will always be in everyone's body. It's in everyone's body. And whether it manifests itself to become a problem or not is another question. We hope one day, if you are diagnosed with a particular cancer, pediatric cancer, that they can give you a pill or a round of medicine that it goes away. But in the interim, the research that we're helping to fund is producing better results. It's producing less invasive treatments. It's producing shorter treatments. And so it's doing a lot right now to help kids. And so, hopefully one day we find that elusive, cure, if you will, that when you're diagnosed with one of these, or if you are, that we can, provide something that you're going to be okay.
Other than the research, which is fundamental there, I know you guys are very involved with supporting the families. It's got to be a major part of that. And I see things of your Warrior Families programs and stuff. Tell us a little bit about your reaction and how you work with families of children with cancer.
Sure. So as there are 4 hospitals in Dallas-Fort Worth that treat kids with cancer. There's Children's Dallas, Children's Plano, Medical City Dallas, and then Cook Children over in Fort Worth. And now there's Cook Children's in Prosper that's opened up. But those are the hospitals that treat pediatric cancer. So when a child is diagnosed with cancer, they go really straight from the oncologist to the hospital. It's not go home, we'll schedule you to go to the hospital next week and plan. You don't have that opportunity to do that. This is typically comes really out of the blue. We've got some of our families where we had a young man who runs track and his hip hurt all the time. So they took him to see if maybe he had a torn labrum in his hip, and he has bone cancer. And we have another young man that was having headaches and plays football. So they thought, well, let's go get an MRI to see if maybe he had a concussion. Well, he didn't. He had brain cancer. And so typically it's very out of the blue, unexpected. So when they're in the hospital, you, like I said, you go straight to the hospital. Your child's in a hospital bed with tubes and things connected to them, and the parents their world is spinning around like, how did we get here? But they don't have anything with them. They came straight from a doctor's office or an oncologist to the hospital. So one of the child life specialists will then bring in a buddy bag. That's our bag. It is a canvas rolling suitcase, and it contains 28 items, carefully selected items for the parents because they have nothing there with them. It has a pillow, it has a blanket, it has a water bottle, it has a book light, it has a Sudoku, it has a laundry canvas laundry basket that they can collect the clothes, and when they get to go home, take them home with them. It has granola bars, it has all their toiletry items. For the kids, it has age-appropriate entertainment items, but it also has a brand new iPad and wireless headphones. And the reason we do that is many of these kids are immunocompromised, so they can't have visitors. But an iPad allows you to FaceTime your friends and family. An iPad allows you to download your homework assignments and continue your schoolwork. But it also allows you to download entertainment, so when you are undergoing cancer treatments, you have some things to watch that hopefully take your mind off of that. And but we've got other things in there. We've got, no one likes the hospital socks, right? They're the worst. But we have Bombas socks. They have the pads on the bottom, so they're non-slip, but they're much more comfortable. And we provide but dining gift cards for the hospital so that parents can go and get food. And Duncan provides a gift card so that they can maybe stop on the way to the hospital and get coffee and bagels or donuts. And so that buddy bag we've got a lot of great stories that have come from that, but those go to all of our warriors. That's what we call our pediatric cancer kids. The Warrior Family Program that you alluded to is we try to put these families together at events when we can, when they're between treatments, in and out of the hospital. It's really important particularly to put parents together. I can sit with these families all day, and one thing I can't ever do is say, I know what you're going through, because I don't. Fortunately, I don't. But when you put them together in a room, they know exactly what each other are going through, and you can get a lot of great information that maybe you don't get from doctors. If your child and my child have a same pediatric cancer or a similar pediatric cancer, but your journey started 3 months before mine, there's a lot of things that you've seen that you can tell me, hey, I know this sounds bad, don't worry about this, you're going to want to do this in preparation for that. And it allows kids to be involved with other kids, and kids just want to be kids, whether they have cancer or they don't. But some things that we do, sometimes we'll just send a family to a Maverick game in a suite or a Stars game, and that's really valuable because pediatric cancer doesn't happen in a vacuum. It really impacts the entire family, siblings and all, and so sometimes when we get an opportunity to just take a family out for a night, but it gives them a chance to be for a few hours away from the pediatric cancer diagnosis, away from treatments, away from the hospital, but together where they can be a family again. And so those are really the three things: the buddy bag, the Warrior Family Program, and the research. Those are the three things that we do every day.
Oh, that's it's good to see that happening. See so much behind it. I want to take a little break here and talk about one of our other sponsors that makes all this possible.
Absolutely.
When we come back, I want to talk a little about partnerships. Nobody does this alone. Right. And we have a very special video coming up from someone that we know well that actually knows about this in a heartfelt way. So right now I want to thank Piranha Haven. It's this wonderful little spiritual gift shop in downtown Richardson. If you go in, Piranha means life force or spirit. That's what you'll find. Very uplifting. You'll find art from local artists. You'll find free trade merchandise. And on the fourth Saturday of every month, they hold a psychic fair on site. You can go to piranhahaven.com and get all the information about the merchandising. They have healers, they have psychic readers, just a complete variety of things you'll find there that are very helpful and beneficial. And we want to thank them especially for their help with our show here and helping us reach out to so many nonprofit organizations. And by the way, if you go into the shop and you see Alex, tell her Dad said hi. It is a family business. And if you hear the baby, that's Sky Elizabeth. So she'll be running the shop soon. So we want to thank Piranha Haven for their support and their continued support in the future. Partnerships. Nobody does this alone. I know on your website you have several partners in there. How does that work together with you guys? How do you get your partners and what do they contribute?
Absolutely. So you always, I mean, this is the same for every nonprofit, all of the good work that we all do. I mean, every nonprofit out there is doing tremendous work, but, we can have the best intentions and the best staffs and all those things, but it costs money to do the things that we do. So you're constantly looking for individual donors or corporate donors or people that will help you. And, probably everyone has heard or seen about the Jersey Mike's month of giving during the month of March and the day of giving. You see Peter Cancro and Danny DeVito on those commercials, and they're talking about that. And that program actually started with Wipe Out Cancer, Kids Cancer here in Dallas. We had one of our supporters walked into a Jersey Mike's to get a sandwich 13 years ago, and the shop wasn't open yet, but she talked to Dalton Stewart, who owned the shop, and he's the regional director. And she said, well, if you guys ever, want a nonprofit to partner with, I think Wipe Out Kids Cancer would be a great partner of yours. And so they got together a short time later and talked about doing a day of giving. And it's now they're doing it nationwide, but it's, during the month of March, you can go into a Jersey Mike's and round your bill up, or you can make a donation anywhere in Dallas-Fort Worth, 70 stores. And then on the last Wednesday of the month, which was this year, was March 29th, every penny that was spent in their store comes to Wipe Out Kids Cancer. So right. you see a lot of businesses say, we'll donate 10% of our proceeds, or we'll donate sometimes our proceeds for the day. Wipe Out Kids Cancer, Jersey Mike's donates everything. So you go in and get a sub and some chips and a drink, and you pay $12. $12 comes to us. And they have been an unbelievable partner for us. Auto Nation's been a tremendous partner of ours through the years. Albertsons, Tom Thumb. These are some great companies that really, and many others, but these are some great companies that really understand, what we're doing and the good that we're doing in the community and for these kids. And, no one out there has not been impacted by cancer in some way in their family. But and cancer's horrible, and there's just no other way to put it. But cancer is particularly horrible when it impacts kids. Kids should always just be able to be kids and grow up knowing that, I'm going to chase my dreams, and I've got my whole life ahead of me, and so it just shouldn't impact kids, but it does. And so, partners like that, and we've got so many great people that support us. We need more, but we've got so many great people that support us, and they understand that. They understand these families and these kids need our help.
I know you talk about great people supporting you. We've got a video coming up pretty soon with somebody that we all know. But you had a special program, part of this, with the high schools, including Allen High Schools, and some donations, or how that worked. Tell us about that and how that worked out.
Sure. So I started at Wipe Out Kids Cancer on August 31st, and I was driving into the office that day, and I knew September was Pediatric Cancer Awareness Month, and I said, I'd really like to do something right off the bat. And, by doing the Tom Landry Classic all the years that I did, you establish some relationships there. So when I got into the office, I called South Lake Carroll High School, and I called Allen High School, and I talked to the people that are the organizers of their student councils. And I said, I would love for you guys to compete against each other in a Wipe Out Kids Cancer, the first annual Wipe Out Kids Cancer Charity Challenge. and went and met with both of them and said, you have the whole month of September. You guys design the things that you want to do. Each of them designed 4 or 5 things that they wanted to do to raise money during September, and they're just brilliant ideas. I mean, kids are so creative. But you wonder, okay, they're great ideas. Can they implement them? Well, they did. They implemented them. And so they competed against each other. And so while that was going on, so Babe Laufenberg, that we all know and love, former Dallas Cowboys quarterback, now on the Cowboys broadcast every Sunday. I called Babe because his son, Luke, had passed away a couple years ago from pediatric cancer. And I told Babe, I said, listen, we're doing this with these high schools. I would love to have the trophy be the Luke Laufenberg Award, but I only want you to do it if you feel like it would honor him. And so take some time, think about it, because I don't want you to do it if there's 1% of you that has a little bit of a red flag or a little reservation, then I want you to say no. And so he took a couple days and came back and said, you know what, I do think that would honor him, and we want to do that. And so Allen won the first ever. Both schools did an amazing job. And Babe, the video that you're going to show, Babe did to play during an Allen pep rally where we went and presented the trophy. Babe was out of town, but he did that video, and it was shown. And that an Allen pep rally has a lot of energy in it and a lot of people. And you could have heard a pin drop when Babe is doing, when this video is played, and a lot of, including mine, a lot of eyes that were pretty watery at that point. So
yeah, we all know Babe and think the world of him. So let's hear from Babe now. Let's play the video, and then we'll come back and talk about a few other things.
It's great.
Hello and good morning to all the students and teachers at Allen High School. My name is Babe Laufenberg, and the award you're about to receive is the inaugural Luke Laufenberg Award. Luke was my child. Luke is my child. Luke was diagnosed with Burkitt's leukemia, or Burkitt's lymphoma, which is a very rare and aggressive cancer, at the age of 19. Luke passed at the age of 21 3 years ago. And I told him at the time, there is going to come a time when a doctor is going to diagnose a child similar to you and say, here's what you have, and you just need to take these pills for a week and you'll be just fine. Unfortunately, that day is not today, but it is going to come at some point, hopefully in my lifetime, and certainly hopefully in your lifetime. But I just want to let you know that by virtue of raising over $14,000 for Wipe Out Kids Cancer, you're doing just that. You're helping in the fight against cancer, and you're helping kids like my son, Luke. So I just want to congratulate you on the job you did. I always believe that a successful life includes serving others. And by virtue of this $14,000 donation to Wipe Out Kids Cancer, you have done just that. So my hat's off to you. I thank you. Luke thanks you. Now, let's go ahead and win it again next year. So again, congratulations on the inaugural Luke Laufenberg Award, and go forward and serve others. Thank you.
Well, that was heartfelt from Babe. We all know and love him. Tell us a little bit about some upcoming events. How can people get involved, and how can they help out with Wipe Out Kids Cancer?
Sure. Well, you can go to our website. It's www.WOKC, so like Wipe Out Kids Cancer, www.wokc.org, and you can find out anything you want to know about us on our website. But there are opportunities there to volunteer. There's opportunities to donate. We do have a run coming up later this month. It's our annual 5K and 1K fun run. It's the Run for the Kids, and it's at Oak Point Park in Plano. So you can go on our website and register to run or to walk, or it's going to be a great morning, because aside from the run, we want you to stay for the after party, and the after party is it's free beverages, adult and non-adult beverages. In-N-Out Burger will be there grilling burgers, and we have Party Machine, which is an Emerald City band that will be there playing, and so it's going to be a great festive atmosphere. There'll be things to do there for kids. You'll see some of our warriors and their parents out there that we can honor. And but that's one thing that we have coming up. And later in the year, obviously, there's North Texas Giving Day, which is big for all charities. But being the CEO at Wipeout Kids Cancer, I would encourage people to go to our website, find out more, see if this resonates with you. If it does, on North Texas Giving Day, if you're so inclined to make a donation to us, we would not only love to have it, but we will make great use of it in helping these kids and their families.
That's terrific. We hope people do get involved. We have some notes here. We've talked about several things. What have I not asked you? What have we left out that you would like for people to know?
Well, I think, there's no charity that we could, and you do a lot of work with charities. There's no charity that we could talk about and say, well, that's not a great mission. We all have great missions, and the thing that is wonderful about Dallas-Fort Worth is there are so many people that are trying to help people that need it. And, I would just encourage people to just think, if you've got healthy kids, you're really blessed. But if you do have kids and they're healthy, just think for a minute what it would be like to be told, to hear those words from an oncologist that your child has blank cancer, fill in the blank. There's many pediatric cancers. And not only that, it's you need to leave here and go straight to the hospital, and they're waiting for you, and they'll admit your child today, and we'll start this battle. That is, like I said earlier, it really comes out of the blue, but just put yourself in those parents' shoes for a minute, because it's not only, there's so many aspects and tentacles to this, because not only now do you have a child with cancer, and you need to be there at the hospital with them, they're a child, but you still have work, you still have potential other siblings, you've got all these other things in your life that you didn't get a week or two to plan out. Who's going to bring them home from school? Who's going to take them to school? Who's going to pack lunches? Who's going to get them to soccer practice? You've just been set down in this pediatric cancer space, and you've got to figure it out on the fly. And that's where we help out with this. But that's what I always tell people. I would just encourage people. And they say that a picture is worth 1,000 words, and I saw a picture the other day, and it's of a young man. He's 8 years old. He's got a young child. He's got cancer, and when you have cancer and you're going through radiation, you're going through chemotherapy, it makes you sick. That's what it does. It makes you sick at your stomach. And he is bending over a toilet. He's going to throw up, and his little sister, who's several years younger than him, she's standing there with him. She's just patting him on the back, and that picture really does say 1,000 words, because like I said a few moments ago, this diagnosis impacts the entire family. I hear from parents all the time say, I feel like I've neglected our other kids because we're having to spend so much time with this child in the hospital, and we're still having to work, and we're still having to do all these other things. And those kids get kind of left out here just a little bit. And so it's a really difficult hardship on the entire family. And so if that resonates with you, everyone, you either have kids or you've got nieces, nephews, somebody that has kids. But if this resonates with you, we would love for you to get involved with us. We can use your help. We want you on our team. And your volunteer efforts, your financial efforts, they will help a lot of people. You can go to bed at night. If you're working with us, you can go to bed at night knowing I made a difference today. I made somebody smile today, or I helped somebody smile today, when smiles are pretty scarce.
That is great. And our timing is pretty good. We're talking about families and children, and Father's Day is coming up. And we've seen our programs in the past. We're part of the Play Catch Foundation. We encourage bonding with family members, as we did back in the day before the television and computers. Sure. And so every Father's Day is National Play Catch Week. So if you are blessed when you're not in a tragic situation with your children. Get to know your children again. Get to bond with them. Take a break from the television or the computer. Go out, and whether you're playing catch or just going to the store or whatever you might do. So we want you to celebrate the life of children, especially this Father's Day coming up. And if you get a chance, go to playcatchfoundation.org and check out what they're doing and how that can help in the community. Well, I want to thank you. I want to thank our sponsors, Niagara, for being here and helping support us, and for Piranha Haven, and Kris Cumnock for all you're doing, and Wipe Out Kids Cancer. Tell us one more time how people can get in touch and how people can help.
Sure. So you just go to our website, www.wokc.org. You can give us a call. We'd be happy to meet you. We'd be happy for you to come to our offices and just tell you more about. There's so many ways to get involved with us. We have a women's guild that you can be involved in. You can be involved with our run. You can be involved in so many different aspects. And if you just say, hey, I want to donate money. I want to know I want to know, when I make a donation, how's that going to help? Because a lot of people, they don't want to just write a check. They want to know. Right? Tell me where this is going. I'll be happy to personally walk you through that entire process.
Well, our show is entitled Advocacy in Motion for a reason, and we want people to get in motion, to get involved with whatever organization is near and dear to their heart, Wipe Out Kids Cancer, or whatever's close by. So we do want to encourage people to get involved. Thank you for all you're doing, and
Thanks, Tommy.
Thanks for coming by.
Absolutely.
Great. Thank you.